Good to have you join us today on this special edition of Youth Assembly. It's the Christmas edition. Merry Christmas to you, and thank you for tuning in today for the show. It's Christmas during the coronavirus pandemic. How are you going to celebrate your Christmas? For me, I am ready, lockdown or no lockdown. Well, this year's Christmas is certainly going to be a Christmas like no other, as the nation is set to celebrate the season amidst a second wave of coronavirus pandemic. Well, I say that sadly, in as much as I can, you can see the smile on my face. Well, it's the new COVID-19 restrictions, which was announced by the presidential task on COVID-19 recently. How can Nigerians have a Merry Christmas without contributing to the spread of the coronavirus? That is a question we intend to ask today on this episode of Youth Assembly, the Christmas edition. I'm not alone today. I have with me Mr. Okay, we have Ale Odiame Ayodele. He is a public health practitioner. Welcome, Mr. Ayodele.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. I also have with me Jeremiah Agala, an on-air personality. Welcome, Jeremiah.
Thank you so much.
Well, the lady that just left, but hopefully she will join us shortly, is Atuzie Favor Tuesday, a youth capacity developer and an event concept creator. They are the ones making it this season with so many events going on. But I wanted to begin with her, but I will start with you, Ale, as a public health practitioner. Okay, so
Mhm.
Nigeria is experiencing the second wave of the coronavirus, and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 just announced some restrictions on public events, and event centers have to be shut down. So, how do you think this would affect the celebration this year compared to last year when everybody could cruise and just have fun during the season?
Well, it's definitely going to affect it because a lot of people have already have plans as to how they will have events, gatherings. Recently, we just come out of a lot of weddings happening, and right now, people really want to be out there and have fun with their family and friends and enjoy the holidays. But with these new restrictions, it's going to be very difficult to do that. But I'm glad that we're here to discuss how that can be done safely
Yes.
with the COVID-19. In-
Sure. Okay. Thank you for joining again, Tuesday. Welcome back. Good to have you.
Thank
So
you.
you're an event planner or a event concept creator. How do you think this would the restriction on the COVID-19 or the COVID-19 restrictions that has been put in place by the presidential task force? How would they affect your business? How would they affect today, this celebration of Christmas this year?
Okay, thank you very much, Sylvia, for the question.
Yes, I can
I
hear
hope you
you.
can hear
Go
me.
ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So the restrictions in very it's going to affect us a whole lot because we're just coming out of a series of room, parlor, party, 20 guests, 50 guests, and a lot of people had to like push their weddings that were supposed to happen at the middle of the year or beginning of the year. They pushed it down to November, December, hoping that, oh, by this time, everywhere would have been calm. And now we're trying we have to still survive, Now I would suggest that people cut down their guest size. Even if you've invited like a lot of people, well, you have to obey. So maybe if you're expecting like 200 people before, because of this recent rule, you have to apologize to like 100 or 150 and just have like really close family and friends and go digital, just like you guys. This interview could have been done in your studio, but we're doing it
Yeah.
from the comfort of our homes. So we have to make do. We can't disobey the government so we don't get into trouble with anybody, even though it looks unfair. But it has affected us. It has affected us. What's the solution now? You have to cut down on your guest size. Money has been spent on food, hall, and everything. God will provide another one for you, but for now, you just have to obey, or you can move the event if it's possible.
Okay. Over to you,
Thank you.
Jeremiah. Well, this time of the year, Nigerians typically will be having wedding events, celebrations, parties, end of the year events. But we're in a pandemic. We're in a serious pandemic, and the second wave is here. How do you think people can have fun during this season without violating the protocols and putting themselves at risk?
All right. Thank you so much for having us. I would want to say
Yes,
Merry
Merry Christmas to
Christmas
you too.
in advance. Yeah. Um, Basically, for me, I think my understanding of the season, it's not about the the noise that comes with it. Christmas for me it goes beyond the outings, goes beyond the events, goes beyond um, the celebration that we've turned it into. I think for me, it's about celebrating somebody, which can be done within the comfort of our homes without necessarily breaking the COVID-19 protocols. Basically, the man we are celebrating Christ, um, encourage us to actually obey government and all of the rules because one of
Give
the
to
things
Caesar what belongs
scriptures,
to Caesar, right?
I didn't get that.
Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what
Oh,
belongs to
obviously,
God.
obviously, it is first reverence to government that even portrays how much of reverence we have for God. So for me, we are in a very trying times, and it's imperative that we all obey the rules, irrespective of our faith, irrespective of our beliefs. I read a lot of things on the social media this morning, and I'm like, I love those beliefs, I love the faith, but if not for ourselves, the next person may not have as much faith as we do. So it is expected that we should be able to stick to these protocols and these rules to be able to encourage the faith of those who do not have as much as we have. So for me, I think obeying government, sticking to the rules is ideal. It takes a man who is alive to celebrate Christmas. It takes a man who is sound and healthy to celebrate Christmas. So for me, I think we should stick to these rules, celebrate Christ as much as we should within the confines of our homes. Like my other panelists have said, restricting visitors to the BRS minimum. We can talk on phone, we can communicate on other means beyond having to see physically, and that has not stopped the celebration of Christmas.
Well, the question on a lot of people's minds right now, on their lips even, is, so I'm not gonna see you this Christmas or something. I've gotten that kind of call from a friend because we can't visit, right? And a lot of people know Christmas as fun. You know, a lot of razzmatazz here and there. And let me paint this
Yeah.
picture. You're going to wake up on 25th of December, and then you have service online, and then you have your Christmas clothes. You can't even wear it out. And then you eat your rice and eat it alone with your family in your house. Eh,
Mhm.
and then you don't even visit people or eat the things that you do. Mr. Allen, as a public health practitioner, how best can people celebrate and still feel the vibe, still have the fun the season brings?
Okay. One way to do that is we are very thankful that we have video conferencing now. So if you're thinking about if you're thinking about making sure that you have
Virtual.
people around you, you can you can make sure that you use video conferencing. You really do not necessarily need to travel anymore. So setting up a Zoom link can get as many people as possible. Then if you're even going to have an event, a physical event, the protocol is that you want to reduce it to as little as 50.
50.
So you should not have as much as more than 50 people gathered at a place at once. So once you do that and you keep to the protocols, keep physical distancing at least 1 meter away when possible, and wear a mask so that the droplets coming out from your mouth when you speak are not blocked by the mask, and when the other people are speaking to, it doesn't come to you. Then creating a place where people can easily wash their hands too. You can
Mm.
once this is done, then I'll providing them alcohol based hand disinfectants. Then another thing is, if you're going to have as much as 50 people, it is important to use very ventilated places. So you don't want to stay in enclosed places. We want to make
Okay.
sure that they do your things outdoors so that there will
Okay.
be enough air for
Mhm.
people to breathe easily and not to inhale the same air that others are breathing. So wherever possible, make sure we're able to do our activities outdoors. This would reduce or limit the amount of transmission of the virus, and we'll be safely celebrating the holidays.
Okay, over to you, Susie. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Okay. So yes, how do
I
you
can
think
hear
people
you.
can have fun during this festive season without violating the protocols? But especially for people who already have events planned before this new restrictions came on board. I mean, we've seen people who even have events advertised. Just bring your face masks to those events was what was preached. But going with what we have on board, the restriction, how best can you think they can maneuver or change the plan in order not to lose at the end of the day?
Okay, thank you very much once again.
Mhm.
Just like the legal practitioner has said, can we all hear me? Sorry, please.
Yes,
Can you
yes,
hear me, Sylvia?
yes. Go ahead,
All right,
Susie.
so just like the legal practitioner has said, this is the time to be grateful for video conferencing apps. I'll start from regular parties.
Okay.
Regular parties we moved to we have Zoom, we have Google Meeting, we also have certain video conferencing apps that are party based, like Hangouts, Watch Party. You can do that there. Like during the first wave, I did like a couple of activities online, and people still felt good. It's just for you to ensure that you have a better network, not like my own network, like a better internet connection or something that would ensure that, oh, when you do those are the things that like drop down the vibe, and maybe your performers kind of meet up at a place. They shouldn't be up to 10, so that they can still practice the whole COVID-19 restrictions. Meet up at a place where the network is stronger, and they perform from there. There were online parties. I remember Sapphire events doing an IB party, like an O and bear on IG live, and I stayed
I
from the
can't even.
beginning to the
I'm
end
trying to
because
imagine
it
it.
was
The
very fun.
online party. Online party. Who buys the drinks? Who brings the food? Oh my God. Where's the fun?
Okay,
The
so
fun is meeting people
how we do
to.
it, how we do the fun is the code for the party is you're going to be dressed, you're going
Uh-huh,
to dress up in your house, you're going to
your
have
Christmas
a drink,
clothes.
you're going to have your food. So like
Mhm.
there is a session in the party where they say, oh, let me see your dress. They say they do competitions like the best dressed. We begin to see people. It's not 100% like the physical parties, but you have to create your own happiness. You are in charge of your happiness, so you have to create it. Then for those that already have like weddings planned out, we are sorry, but it's what it is. There's nothing we can do about it now. Your money has burnt to a certain extent, but it's still in your it still lies in your hand to have the best of moments. Like I said, you have to reduce the guests. You can also use logistics too for those that you've already like maybe you've paid for
Yeah.
your food, your drinks, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that package souvenir. You can contact us to assist you if you would want that. We package the food items. So instead of serving it in like breaking plates as it would have been done in the
Take
past,
away.
we
Okay, people don't
package it
get to
like
eat in, but take out.
customized party
Okay.
packs. These guys that go around. Yeah, yes. So for those that have events planned, we can also
All right. Mr. Jeremiah, can you hear her? I can't. I don't think I can hear.
No, no, no. I
All right.
think
Let me just.
I've lost her.
Yes. Yes, so let me move
Just
over
customize maybe a brand.
to you, Mr. Jeremiah. Thank you, Tuesday, for your contribution. I think we heard the better part of it. But before the second wave of the virus hit, many Nigerians were just going about their business. Some people don't even wear masks anymore. It seemed as if the virus was no longer there. Markets, transporters flaunted social distancing rules. Even schools that started so well, but towards the end of it, before they closed, the max was to be questioned. People were not wearing it. So, how do you think Nigerians can get it right in the enforcement of the COVID-19 guidelines, especially during the season? I mean, during the first lockdown, we saw the enforcement agents going out in full force, trying to enforce people wearing their face masks. But we didn't see that happen recently. And now that the restrictions are back, what can they do to make sure there's no increase in the number of cases of coronavirus?
Thank you so much, Ma. I would take a little bit from what you had earlier asked.
Okay.
During the first wave of the lockdown of the COVID-19, I had an event already planned out, my annual youth
Okay.
event. We had gone very far, very far. The week the event was to take place was the week the lockdown was declared, and then we lost so much. Now, but for me, my consolation was the fact that it was targeted at preserving the lives of people. I needed people to attend the event. If their lives were at stake, and like she said, beyond going out to do a celebration, we can actually do this celebration within our family. In the end, this is teaching us that family is actually what is more important. The new clothes, the parties, the outings, isn't as much as celebrating our family values. So I think one of the lessons personally I'm learning from this is that it's helping us actually value family much more. Now, on enforcement, I think in this part of the world, we do more of reacting, much more than planning, proper planning. The blame is lies also even with government. Once the first phase of lockdown was over, everybody went back to their shell, including government. What happened to the enforcement team that was put in place during the first wave? We knew we were not out of the wood. The second waves had been predicted even before it started. So we knew. What did we do? We didn't do anything. So it was only natural for the led to follow the lead of the leaders. The leaders didn't show any sense of commitment. They didn't even put the people in check. The enforcement team went relaxed, left the things they were supposed to have done. And so the people felt, okay, we're now safe. We can go about our normal business. So, but for me, even beyond the second wave beyond this second wave, it is time for us to be able to put certain things in place. The washing of our hands isn't supposed to be tied to lockdown, to COVID-19. It's supposed to be a normal routine everybody should be able to do. Neatness, cleanliness, these things are supposed to be part of our daily routine. So I am thinking that beyond even the enforcement team, it is high time we as Nigerians take responsibility for healthy living. It's high time we begin to sit down and begin. Okay, let's go back even to the Ebola thing. If you notice during the Ebola season, everybody became active. Everybody was sensitive to where they were, what they were doing.
Yeah.
Once that was over, we went back to our normal lifestyle. We were carefree. We ate whatever we wanted to eat, and then we're back here with coronavirus. So I am thinking that beyond enforcement, it is high time we take responsibility for how we live our lives. Beyond what governments say, beyond what enforcement is in place. For me, the enforcement team should do more. Sensitization should go out more. We should do more of enlightenment, community enlightenment. Some of these people in the rural environment do not even understand what we are talking about. They don't understand the need to even keep to this protocol. Go to the villages, the settings within your city. You will discover that people will still go ahead, do their normal Christmas celebration. You will still have the convergence of people um, in large numbers. You will still have Durbans, you'll still have masquerades, you'll still have all of that in those rural communities. So a lot has not been done with regards to enlightenment. A lot of people do not understand why they need to keep to these protocols. Maybe because nobody had dropped dead around them. Maybe because they've not seen somebody suffer from COVID-19. Maybe because they don't know enough to be able to know what to do. So I think much more should get into enlightenment, much more than the enforcement. And don't even forget, our enforcement team are not helping you do the right thing. They are looking for ways to catch you in defaulting so that they can penalize you and get those little monies from you. So I feel beyond what we are doing now, much more needs to be done so that we can actually save much more people during this season.
So, if you visit some of these transport station or bus stations, you'll see the number of people traveling. It's festive season. People want to go to their villages to celebrate with their loved ones. Even the airports are not excluded from this. So, traveling is important for the season, and traveling is one of the ways people also spread the virus. What advice would you give to people, Nigerians who intend to travel during this season, Mr. Ale? But before you go
Okay.
on, our viewers, you can actually contribute to the discussion. The question is, how can Nigerians have a Merry Christmas without contributing to the spread of the COVID-19 in the country? We'd love you to drop your comments. And if you have questions, of course, you can drop also, and then our guests will answer. I have a comment already from Francis Azefiano, who says, great ideologies. Thank you. So thank you to our guests. I wait your response. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Ali.
Okay. So the first thing is to ask yourself if is it really important for me to travel? Because once you travel, you are putting not just yourself, but the people you are going to meet at risk too. Because while on transit, you are going to meet people, have interactions with people, and you don't know where you can contract this. And a lot of us are traveling to see aged parents, people that are actually at risk of getting this, and because they have what we call diseases that might develop that may make them develop complications, really elderly ones, like things like people with high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, chronic lung disease. So all these people are people that once they get this virus, it would affect them adversely. So you need to ask yourself, is it a must that I should travel? And if it is a must, then do all you can to minimize the risk. So when you are traveling, try to travel risk free. Try to maintain your social distancing with from people, either on the plane, in the train, or in a bus. The guidelines that have been set by the government has told the transport companies to reduce the number of people they carry to by 50%, so that it would not be spread. So it is also important that while this is being done, while these people are adhering to what the government is saying, you also do your best to keep by the protocols that have been set. When you are traveling, if you do not have access to water and soap, carry an alcohol-based disinfectant or sanitizer so that you can easily make sure that you do not contract it by touching surfaces. And also look for good ventilation. So if you could stay by the window of a bus, that would be really nice so that you don't get to inhale air. Then when you are traveling through, it would be nice to also carry at bus as much as 2 or 3 face masks so that at intervals you could change it and you don't keep wearing one throughout the length of the journey. So this is very important so that you would not put both yourself and the people you are going to meet at risk.
Okay, thank you. So we have a comment from Pamela Okaku. She says, I can comfortably celebrate my Christmas at home with my family. Nigerians should make it a time to bond with family members and make it a fun time. For some people who intend to run away from their families this season, it is not a good one for them. That is a comment from Pamela. Thank you, Pamela, for your contribution. For those who haven't sent in, we await your contributions also. Okay, can you hear me now, Tuesday? Are you back, fully back now? I think she's having connection issues. But one of the entertainers now. When we go to the issue of entertainers who have already planned their events and the restrictions came on board, the Lagos especially is the entertainment capital of Nigeria. So why do you think entertainers found it difficult to transit from physical form of entertainment to virtual or other less risky forms of entertainment like drive-through concerts, etc.? I mean, we saw a wedding recently that happened, was in one of the Asian countries where they had over 10,000 people, but it was drive-through throughout. People came in and they had their lunch or their snack and everything, and their souvenirs given to them from in their cars. And so this was a success in Thailand. How can Nigerians or the entertainment industry in Nigeria replicate this? And for our superstars, our entertainers, why have they not transited from physical concerts to virtual concerts? I would like to ask Mr. Jeremiah this one now.
Okay, I think for me, we are learning the hard way. We were actually not prepared for what had actually hit us in these few months. So it's not something we will transit over the night. It's something that will take a while for us. And don't forget, Nigerians are not we are not the virtual kind of people. We want to be physically present at the event. It looks like if you are not there, the event isn't complete, or you won't get the feel of what is happening there. So I think over time we will get to that level. But at the moment, we are still finding it difficult to transit. But this is teaching us a very vital lessons that that's the future of entertainment, that's the future of events, that's the future of programs. For me, I had to learn that the hard way. After my first event was cancelled, I had to begin to do virtual events. I had about 2, 3 virtual conferences, and I think I'm beginning to love it. It's stress-free.
Turnout for you.
Ironically, I got better participation for certain people who aren't even in the country. It was easy for me to be able to get them to join the conference much more than I would have had when I had physical conference. So it gives us better reach. It gives us better spread. So it's something we will gradually get into. Everybody may not buy into it immediately, but the COVID-19 saga is making us want to think in that direction. So it's something we are not going to transit overnight, but we will definitely get there. That's the future of this for me. So it's a gradual thing. Maybe we may not get it right at this time, but we surely will. This Christmas may not be the usual Christmas for a lot of people, but over time, this will be the kind of Christmas a lot of people will want to. They will want to rest more because this is offering us an opportunity to rest more, bond more. In the past, we used to be as busy as we were when it wasn't even break season. So this time around, we are learning it the hard way. So for me, I think over time, we will get there. And I'm sure a lot of people are also buying into it gradually.
Okay. Mr. Ale, do you have any contribution on that issue?
Yeah, I would like to say that one reason why a lot of the musicians, the celebrities are not really buying it, might not be keen into this virtual type of events, is might be because of the fact that they will not be making as much money as they would from selling tickets and all. But I would think that they would put the safety of their fans before whatever monetary gain you'll be getting. So I think there's a couple of them musicians that have done virtual events recently, and I'm sure they've had the success of it. You could actually sell the logins. You could actually sell the logins to these events to your fans if they want to be part of it. So it is very easy actually to still have fun, to still make money as a musician while still keeping to the COVID-19 protocols and making sure that everyone is safe, including their fans, because I'm sure they will still want their fans to be their fans after the whole COVID-19 saga is done.
Do you still know that some Nigerians still believe that the virus is a scam up until now? Some people still believe that
Yeah,
it's a
they
scam.
do.
Yeah. So, I'll still leave this question with you for you to answer. What do you think, or what should be done differently? There is a lot of sensitization going on, but I don't know if it's enough. But what should be done to make Nigerians or get Nigerians to that point where they take the virus seriously and protect themselves?
Well, the information, giving information cannot be overemphasized. No matter how much you give information, you still need to keep repeating it to people so that it sinks into their subconscious, and they eventually get to doing these things without even knowing that they are doing them.
Mm,
So putting it out there on all forms of media, social media, the print media, news media, is very, very important, because if people don't have the right information, you won't expect them to do the right things. So doing this is very important, making sure that people know the protocols, what they should do, then the penalties too. Once they know the penalties that would be incurred if they don't do them, then I'm sure they'll be more inclined to doing them. Okay, for example, in Abuja now we have the mobile courts where people are being already encased in for not putting on their mask and keeping to some of the protocols. In Lagos, there was a time one of the lounges was raided where people were gathered more than normal, and this is showing that if there are actually repercussions for not keeping to these protocols. So once people know that these repercussions, these guidelines are being adhered to and they are being enforced, once the enforcement is being shown, I'm sure that at the end of the day, people would be more inclined to keep to these protocols and stay safe.
mm. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ale. Finally, we have Tuzi. I hope she can hear me now. Hello. Ah, can you hear me?
Hi, I'm so sorry. My network. Welcome
I
to
don't know. They
Nigeria.
don't want you to celebrate Christmas with us with Click Niger today. But now that you're here, before your network decides to do what it knows best to do, what
Do
message do you
have
have
a
for
safe.
Nigerians? What message do you have for Nigerians as they celebrate or prepare to celebrate Christmas in 2 days in the midst of the second wave of the virus?
Okay, so my message is simply be like me. I was
Oh,
supposed to
and
travel
who are
to
you?
see I was supposed to travel to see my parents. I haven't seen them in
Okay.
like years, you know.
Mm,
And while I was preparing to travel, because I wanted to travel, I started feeling like, it feels like something is going to happen this
oh.
December period. So I just told them that, okay, I don't think the whole COVID thing is gone yet. And I don't want to risk my life or anybody's life because I'm too
Mm,
popular. So by the time I get to the house, I can greet like 20 people before even entering inside my own father's house. God forbid I came with any funny thing.
yes.
20 people, maybe five may be asymptomatic, so they might not be able to contact it. But how about the remaining 15? So it's not easy, but it has to be done.
Hmm.
Think of the next person, think of it as you're being kind, think of it as you're saving humanity, and
Yeah.
just stay in your house. If you have to go out, please use your face masks, use your sanitizers. You can hit me up on social media so I can help you with creative ideas you can use to foster fun amongst you and your folks. I can do that for you at a discount if you streamed this program. But if you didn't stream this program, I'll collect my normal money.
In fact,
But it's
just give us the
possible.
highlights those tips for us. How to have fun with your loved
Okay, so
ones in
the
the
first
comfort of
thing
your
you
home.
can
This
do,
is-
there's
Mhm.
an app called Watch Party. You can
Mm,
download Watch Party. It's very easy to use. It enables you make a song list, allows your friends connect just like Zoom, but this one is more party inclined. And then you can use the normal Zoom to prepare a list of entertainers. You can get your friend as a saxophonist or a keyboardist or a violinist. Every single thing can happen in your house, or you have them record and you play them directly from your system if you have a better network. Then another thing that you can do is your normal WhatsApp call. If you have a small group of friends, WhatsApp allows for 8 callers. If you have a small group of friends, you can do that. The key to enjoying these video conferencing apps is to set a program. So
mm,
what do you want to achieve? oh, you want to have fun with the girls, you can even do karaoke online. Yes, Zoom allows for that. All just falls within the settings. So you create a program. Number one, opening prayer. Number two, introduction of guests. So, oh, I'm this person. Who are you? Who are you? Number three, let me see your dress. The best dress is going to get a gift.
Oh my
That will
God,
enable
you're giving me
people. Yes,
ideas.
will enable people to actually dress up like, oh, I want to win a gift or something. I want to show off. Or you can even still make it themed like, oh, this our Zoom party is going to be um a pajama party. So you're expected to wear pajamas, and when it's time to say your farewell, we're going to make you wear
I
your
am going to
pajamas.
have a
She
pajama party on
you
Christmas
on
Eve
pajamas.
tomorrow. You've
She's
given me the best idea. I needed this thing.
and then the passcode, before we do tickets,
Yes, yes.
100K, table for five, one
Uh-huh.
million. So your ticket here can be ticket is going to be ensure you are with your drink or food. So if you are like Jaye guys that like alcohol, so the ticket can be you must show your bottle of Baileys. So everybody gets their Baileys and they're high in their house individually. Another way to make it fun is to limit the crowd. So if you're like close set of friends or even family, you can do
Mm-hmm.
it in pairs. So
Okay.
if Sylvia is my friend now, like we are having a party and Sylvia is my friend, Sylvia can come over to mine. That is just me and Sylvia. It doesn't now mean you
Okay.
won't check Sylvia's temperature. Sylvia should also sanitize, wash her hand, and all those things. So it's
Mm,
me and Sylvia in one location.
okay.
The practitioner guy, sorry, I don't know your name, and the apostle guy in another
Mr.
location.
Ale and Jeremiah in another location.
Pairs of two or three, so that
Yeah, true.
so that even if we are distant, there's still that fun within the circle. Like, oh, and so many other things, Jare. You have to help yourself in this life.
I am telling you, we have to help ourselves.
Like,
Okay. You're just going to send me that link to your own virtual party. I am going to be a guest. All right. Thank you so much,
no
Susie.
problem. I'll do so.
Okay, thank you so much, Susie, for your contribution, for giving us all of those tips. Her name is Susie Favor Atuzie. She is a youth capacity developer and an event concept creator. Yes, so we have another comment here. Cool ideas. Blessing of us, Ale says, cool ideas. I tell you, they're really cool ideas. In fact, not just don't just say cool, do it. Do it like they have said, and you'll have the fun, the best Christmas yet. Okay. Do you have any more to say to Nigerians, Mr. Ale, before we go?
Yes. So there's this comments that we can find on the WHO page. I would like to read it out, especially for those that would still want to have physical events. So whether it's going to be a wedding, a party, a holiday party, a sports tournament, what precautions should you take? First of all, it's very important to check the local guidelines and
Yeah.
the local guidelines or the local restrictions that have been placed. Like Nigeria has its own restrictions, so it's important to know these. Then, if you're going to be having guests, make sure you brief them before the event starts about your own precautions that you want them to take. So you could, if you're sending them invite via WhatsApp or some other means, make sure you include the precautions you want them to take in there. Then make sure that they are on the same page with you as regards these safety precautions. Then, if possible, choose outdoor venues over indoor spaces. This will make you make sure that the area is well ventilated. Then minimize the crowd. You can minimize the crowd by doing putting them in batches. If you're going to be having more than 50 people, so you can create batches so that they don't get to meet each other. You get, so if you're going to be doing a party, for example, you can do a party for, let's say, 10 to 12, another one for 1 to 2, then another one from 3 to 5, so that you don't make people mix too much and minimize crowding. Then provide the necessary supplies that would make it easy for them to keep to these guidelines. So hand hygiene stations where people can wash their hands with soap or soap and water, then tissues, and also you can even create distance markers so that people can actually practice the physical distancing. So once these are done, you can actually have a safe physical event. Then if you are attending one of these events too, it is important also for you to make sure that you are well. If you feel unwell, please do not. If you feel unwell, please do not go to a gathering where you know people will be, so that you don't spread the virus. And once you feel unwell too, please try as much as possible, as soon as possible, take a test. Take a
Yeah.
test to know if that is it. Once you take the test, then you start the treatment immediately. If you're going to sneeze, please cover you with an elbow, with a bent elbow or a tissue, and immediately dispose it appropriately. Then hand washing cannot be overemphasized too. Please, let's all do this, and once we do, we'll be able to have a happy holidays and happy celebrations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ali Ayodele, public health practitioner. Those are wonderful tips, and we will not forget. We'll keep washing our hands and have it at the back of our mind that we are saving humanity, just like Tuzi said, when we decide not to travel or to stay indoors or to observe all of the protocols. I hope you have a fantastic holiday, Mr. Ale, and
Thank
have a
you.
Merry Christmas. And to
Thank
you,
you.
our viewers, thank you for choosing to be here at this time and listening to us on this special Christmas edition of Youth Assembly. We'll be back on Monday. That's after Christmas now for another edition of Youth Assembly. But tomorrow is another show, and that is That Nigerian Thing. We'll see you then. Thank you so much to all of our guests, Jeremiah Gala, who was here earlier, an on-air personality, and Atuzie Favor, who is a youth capacity developer and an event concept creator. See you tomorrow and have fun. My producer has been Iyoma Ukeji. I won't forget that. Bye for now.